for their hard work each and every day to serve this great city. Even Bakari, I also want to thank you and the Licensed Sirens International Organization as a whole, as a group that spearheaded this initiative, and we have the utmost gratitude for the work that they do within Providence and beyond. Mayor Brett Smiley and I share a vision of ensuring a safe environment of our city. ATVs have been a public safety concern throughout our community, and I'm proud to highlight the outcome of the hard work and dedication of our officers, specifically our CRT team, Community Response Team, under the command of Lieutenant Jeanette, Sergeant Sean Lafferty, and the officers that work in that unit. They're always vigilant in removing these illegal vehicles from operating within the city. Today, we're donating 16 of the off-road motorcycle vehicles that have been seized by Providence Police, in addition to ATVs seized by Cranston Police. In 2023, the Providence Police Department removed 168 ATVs and dirt bikes from our streets, which I truly believe is outstanding work. At this time, I would like to call upon Honorable Mayor Brett Smiley for remarks.
Thank you, Colonel. Good afternoon, everybody. I also want to express my gratitude to Senator Quesada and Councilman Goncalves and Councilwoman Vargas for joining us today. I want to thank Mayor Hopkins, who we'll hear from in just a moment. But this is a significant moment to reflect upon where we are in terms of strengthening public safety and improving the quality of life here in Providence. Before I took office, I heard loud and clear from neighbors that the reckless use of ATVs and illegal dirt bikes was a major issue impacting the quality of life and sense of safety throughout our city. These vehicles are simply not designed to be used on our streets, and that's why it's been a priority of mine from day one to take action. I'm thrilled that today, after months of work, we've been able to partner with Lights and Sirens to find a positive and productive use for these vehicles that were too long a danger to our neighborhoods. Through this partnership, we'll be donating 16 vehicles, as the Chief mentioned. These vehicles confiscated here in our city will find a new, productive purpose with our friends in the Dominican Republic. It's obviously that the Dominican community here in Providence is part of what makes Providence, Providence. We are so proud to have such a large community of Dominicans, and we know that so many of our neighbors here have family back home in the DR. And so it's great that by removing a public safety hazard and public nuisance here, we'll be able to actually enhance the quality of life and sense of safety in the DR. As we approach the warmer months, I do want to remind riders that there remains zero tolerance for illegal dirt bike and ATV use here in the city of Providence. We're proud of the progress that we've made, but we intend to remain vigilant. And so for anyone who's thinking about getting back out on the streets again this spring, this is a reminder that we remain with zero tolerance for illegal vehicle use here in the city of Providence. The community response team, which the Colonel mentioned, has done exceptional work. It's been almost a year, exactly a year, actually pretty close to how long that team has been in place. And in the year of their service, they have confiscated over 150 ATVs. For context, in the 3 years that preceded, the police department seized 102. And so the progress that they've made is substantial. And it has made a real difference in our community. By repurposing these ATVs for law enforcement, we know that we'll be able to contribute to the greater good, continue to strengthen ties between the Dominican Republic and here in Providence, and continue to foster positive relationships in our community. One of the ways in which we do that is through a broader partnership that we share with Lights and Sirens. I've had a chance to participate with Eben and his team at Lights and Sirens at multiple community events. Have deep respect for what they do to foster the relationship between young people in our city and law enforcement, and I know that they will continue to be a key partner. Partnerships are how we get everything done, and that's particularly true in this respect. When I was very early in office, a little over a year ago, Mayor Hopkins of Cranston called a meeting in his office, or at his public safety complex, with the neighboring mayors. We knew that particularly with a problem like ATV use and motorcycle use, we might have pushed them out of Providence, but only pushed them into Cranston. And so our departments have been working closely together, not just Cranston and Providence, but also Johnston and North Providence, all the neighboring communities. But it was led in those early days, at least in my tenure, by Mayor Hopkins and his incredible police chief, Chief Winquist. And so we are really excited for the partnership. And while I I know the details and the improvements that we've seen here in Providence. I'm certain that the residents of Cranston feel the same because of the leadership provided by the Mayor of Cranston, Ken Hopkins, who I'd like to invite to the podium now.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. First of all, the idea where this came from originally started with a gentleman named Franklin Paulino.
Thank you.
Franklin was from the Dominican Republic, from Santo Domingo, and I was heavily involved with him in coaching baseball and working with him. His son played baseball for me at CCRI, and I recruited him out of Miami, Florida, to come up to Cranston to work in my one of my offices. And the first thing he said to me was, you know, if we're going to take these bikes, let's not crush them. Let's work with the people in the Dominican Republic. I will call their chief of police and we'll ship them over there. And I looked at him and I said, you know what, that sounds like a great idea. And the respect that I have for our colonels, Colonel Lindquist and Colonel Perez, second to none. When it comes to quality of life in our cities, my good friend, Mayor Smiley here in the city of Providence, thank you for all that you do. And quality of life is important to our friends and neighbors on both sides, whether it's Warwick or whether it's Providence. We need to work together to stop this type of problem that we have in our city. So with that, the vehicles, this is our second load of vehicles that we've brought over here. We've already shipped over 5 to the Dominican Republic, to their police department. We've got another 5 here today that we've confiscated, and we have 5 more ready to go. So hopefully we can put these bikes to good use, upholding the safety in our good friends of the Santo Domingo Police Department. There's partnerships with the community organizations, especially with my good friend Ibn. Ibn, where are you today? Thank you, my friend. Ibn has done a great job with Lights and Sirens International, and hopefully we can get down to Santo Domingo pretty soon and see how effective the bikes are in being used over in the Dominican Republic. So at this point, I'm glad to support this program. I'm very, very happy to see that they're being put to good use, they're not being destroyed, and once again to work with the elected officials here in the city of Cranston. I see Councilman Gonzalez and other council people beside me. This is important to both of the cities, to have a safe city, to have a quality of life issue that's being addressed and supported by our police departments. So once again, I want to thank each and every one of you for attending today. Thank you, my good friend, Mayor Smiley here in Providence, and we'll continue to make sure that our streets are safe, especially as the weather starts getting better. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Here in Providence, everything we do in government is a partnership with the Providence City Council. Speaking on behalf of the Providence City Council is the Ward 1 councilman, my councilman, Councilman John Goncalves, who has focused on quality of life in his neighborhoods as well as one of his key priorities, and has felt and understood the problem that these vehicles create in his ward acutely, and I know shares my priority and the city's priority in continuing to make a safer, healthier city for all by removing these illegal ATVs and dirt bikes. Councilman Goncalves.
Well, we joke all the time that I can fix his potholes, but he's clearly fixing the ATV issue. So on behalf of the Providence City Council, Council President Miller, and the members of the City Council, we want to thank you all for coming out today to make sure that we are here together to make this a priority of enhancing public safety and community well-being. And it's an honor to stand here today on behalf of the members of the City Council and also other elected officials. I see Councilwoman Vargas, also Senator Quesada. Thank you for your leadership. I want to also extend my thanks to the Mayor, Mayor Smiley, and also Mayor Hopkins, whose leadership and vision continue to inspire us here in the city of Providence. Your dedication is truly a bedrock in this community, and we're thankful for your collective achievements. Colonel Perez, thank you for your leadership as well. Your unwavering commitment and guidance have been instrumental towards this effort. And I also want to send a special shout out to our district lieutenant, Lieutenant Jeanette, who has been a driving force behind a lot of these initiatives. So thank you for your leadership. Another acknowledgement goes to the Dominican Republic, National Police Representative and their esteemed Director of Cooperation in International Relations. Obviously, their presence here, far from home, signifies the depth of this connection in this partnership, and we're grateful for their leadership. So again, on behalf of the Providence City Council, I just want to thank you all for your leadership. I also want to thank Colonel Lindquist for all that he does in the city of Cranston, and also the Cranston PD for your generous contribution of, I believe it's 5 additional ATVs to this effort. And today we're really here to celebrate not just the transferring of equipment, but the strengthening of bonds among these communities. And again, on behalf of the city, I want to thank you all for being here and look forward to the impactful work that we'll continue to accomplish together. Thank you.
I would now like to call on my friend and colleague, Colonel Lindquist, both on the post of the state and actually on the Police Chiefs Association.
It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. Colonel Perez and I go way back. I was assigned to the Providence Police Gang Unit when I was at the Rhode Island State Police, and we formed a strong bond way back years ago working on problem solving. And this is just another example of working with the Providence Police Department to solve a problem that affects not only Providence, but also the city of Cranston. A few years ago, cities across the United States experienced a surge of these groups that ride these illegal vehicles on roadways, sidewalks, jeopardizing the public safety, but also disturbing neighborhoods. And they record a lot of their activities with GoPro cameras, and they're very proud of the disruption of the neighborhood. So these aren't individuals that are out for a recreational drive and they're looking for a dirt path to ride on. These are individuals that purposely commit crimes and disrupt our neighborhoods. And a lot of these cities and towns, including Cranston, felt the impact when this phenomenon became pretty frequent in Philadelphia, Boston, and other places across the country. And a lot of reports started to come in. These groups sometimes were 60 to 100 riders in a pack, and some of that behavior became criminal when they actually became assaultive towards motorists and very intimidating for people trying to use our roadways. One of our officers was actually run over by an ATV and was trying to effect an arrest of somebody that was riding illegally. So it became very brazen at one point, and a couple of times they also brandished firearms. So these are the type of individuals that we were dealing with. But more importantly, the quality of life that was mentioned earlier. A lot of times we get calls about people that had to get up early in the morning to go to work, and they were disrupted by the loud buzzing noise of these ATVs doing burnouts up and down Elmwood Avenue and other locations across the city. So we had to cooperate with one another. We came together, figured out how to attack this problem, which was not an easy problem because to safely apprehend some of these riders was a challenge. And you fast forward today, and the problem has been greatly mitigated thanks to the hard work of the men and women of both the Providence and the Cranston Police Departments, as well as neighboring jurisdictions. And they figured a way to do it, and they developed a strategy to use technology, intelligence, and other measures to impact this problem. And I'm going to tell you, it's been noticeable. We don't get the frequent numbers of complaints about these vehicles. So what we're doing, we believe, is working. But we can't rest on our laurels. We know that the warmer weather is upon us, and it can easily become a problem like it was a few years ago. And we're here to assert that we have zero tolerance, both in Cranston and Providence, to these activities. We will be out there in full force, and we will deploy our strategy as we've had in the past, and we will scale our resources appropriately, and we will take this very seriously. So, as the mayor said earlier, for people that are considering getting back on the roadway, we will seize your bike, we will forfeit it, and we'll be glad to send it to the Dominican Republic to help our partners in law enforcement in the Dominican Republic who are here today. I want to recognize also Ibn Bakari. We have a strong relationship with Ibn. We had a similar press conference like this a few years ago, where we shipped bikes over to the Dominican Republic back then. We worked with Ibn on a lot of different issues, and I thank you for your leadership, Ibn. And to my friends from the Dominican Republic, I wish we had better weather for you. This is tip of Rhode Island. The Colonel has shown me pictures of a beach, I believe, on the west side of the island, and I hope to visit with Mayor Hopkins to see these bikes in action. So, again, thank you for attending this conference. And again, we'll be out there in full force, and we will have the same reaction as we've had in the past. We actually won't wait to be reactive. We'll be proactive in this area. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel. I would now like to call on the Director of the International Affairs in the Dominican Republic, Colonel Roberto Davaru.
No se siente sentir latino aquí. ¿Qué pasa? Oh, se tiene que sentir, ¿verdad? Gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Robert LeBou. Everybody always get confused with that last name. I'm the Director of International Affairs of the Dominican Police Department. I'm nervous because I am ecstatically happy today. Today's just a special day. I have to give God His glory on this special Holy Week for having us all here together. I thank so much Honorable Mayor Brett Smiley, the City of Providence, Honorable Mayor Kenneth Hopkins, City of Cranston, Colonel Oscar Perez, and Colonel Michael Winquist, to all Chief of Police of their respective cities. And of course, I have to thank my good friend and brother, Ivan Bakari of Light and Sirens International Foundation, which was a huge part of having this stage put up together. I'm good now. This is great. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna speak about character. Character of two American men that opened their doors to us Dominicans. Honorable Mayor Brett Smiley, Honorable Mayor Kenneth Hopkins, we thank you so much. On behalf of our General Director, Major General Ramon Guzman Peralta, Chief of the Police of the Dominican Republic, he sends his regards and his appreciation for holding this event for us Latinos, for us Dominicans. For this partnership is only to grow and get better. It says a lot for these two gentlemen's acceptance to the Latino community, to the Dominican community. From now on, it will only get bigger. Police departments working together for better and bigger cause. Today is an incredible day. It says what we can achieve working together as a team. The Dominican Republic is an island strategically in the center of the heart of the ocean, of the Caribbean Sea. And it's a wonderful place to visit. Strategically, we are expanding our department all around the world. We signed a memorandum of understanding with the City of New York. We're doing progress with Miami. Every city where there's a large population of Dominican citizens, we have highly interest in being a part of and working side by side. Being a police officer is such a tough job, but we are the largest family in the world. Wherever you go, there has to be a police force. And with this partnership cemented today, which we highly, really appreciate so much, sir, gentlemen, there's not enough words to say from love and appreciation from our country, la República Dominicana. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you, Colonel. Muchas gracias. Thank you. I now would like to call on the Director of International License Sirens, Ivan Bakari.
afternoon, everyone. I too am a little bit nervous because this has been something in the works for a year and a half. For the last 15 years, Lights and Sirens International whole purpose was to focus on the mental health and the trauma of public safety personnel, which led us to go to the Dominican Republic and try to address that very fate. Here today, I am honored to be in front of you, to be acknowledged for spearheading this, but I can't take all the credit because it took a community, it took two nations to come together to make this possible. Empowering our global community through innovation and collaboration, Lights and Sirens International, along with the City of Providence, Providence Police, the City of Cranston, and Cranston Police Department is honored to donate these ATVs and dirt bikes to the Dominican Republic National Police, enhancing their capabilities and services and safety for all. I appreciate everyone that's coming out today for this, and I am just honored to be here with all of you, standing with you, and we're looking forward to continuing the work that we have been doing. Thank you.
That concludes the formal speaking program. I'd be happy to take questions about the donation today and the program. I know there's some other off-topic questions which I'm happy to answer after the fact. Are there any questions on today's donation?
City Council is here today. What they did? They're going to contribute some money for this? Because when we asked the same question a year and a half ago, half of the people behind you hate the police department. And they don't want the ATV to be donated to another country. And then today we put in a show. This is a problem. This is supposed to be done by the police department and you guys. Not having all those people behind you, they hate the police officers.
So the two things. First, the donation that you're seeing today is being done at no cost to taxpayers. That was part of the delay, was making sure that the funding was available, that the shipping of these bikes would be done at no cost to taxpayers. That's important for all of our city residents to know that, and for Mayor Hopkins residents to know that as well. This is about turning something that was a public safety detriment in Providence and Cranston into a public safety enhancement in the Dominican Republic. And secondly, the Providence City Council, almost with unanimity, supported and voted on our budget last year, which included a host of public safety enhancements. I was proud to sign the budget that I introduced, that they made some modifications on, and that they passed. And so we appreciate their partnership. I'll be introducing this year's budget again in just a couple weeks, and we'll continue to prioritize public safety, and I hope to continue to have the support of the City Council. The individual council people can speak for themselves, but I believe that the council people who are here with me today, and the council certainly in well over a majority, is actually voting consistent with supporting public safety here in the city of Providence.
Follow-up question, Mayor Hopkins. Thank you very much for mentioning Franklin, because Franklin worked so hard for this to happen too.
Yes, he did.
Any other questions? Great, thank you all for coming today.